End of day one, got the tanks off, or got the tank off, got the rear wheel off, got a major amount of degreasing done. That's about it. I did pull off the, what's it called, a front fender. I think it's a fender. The piece that sits over there was black. I've got it completely sanded down and ready for primer. Have no idea what I'm going to color the bike with yet, so we'll just prime it for now. But it's very smooth. There's a couple tiny little spots where I might use a little filler, but I don't think I'm going to need much, if any. I don't know. A few things I'm concerned with are definitely going to be the hole in the crankcase. Looks like here where they cut this off, I'm not sure if that held anything in specific, especially if it held something for the rear seat. So if it did, that's going to be a concern of mine, because I want my wife to be able to ride this thing with me. So the whole purpose in me getting a bike was to make it so that I could ride something with two of us. I had an XL-250 before this, and we took it last Sunday to church, and it was such a little pooch that it didn't really work. Although it was a cool little enduro, it wasn't quite the right bike for us. So next concern is going to be the oil cooler. I don't think this is the stock one, so if anybody's looking at this and knows what the deal is, if that's not the stock one, I think the stock one had a wrap on it, like kind of wrapped around a little bit. The next concern is going to be the speedo. There is no speedo or instrument cluster, so I'm going to get something, and I'm not sure whether I should go the route of trying to find another stock one or an aftermarket one. And I even had the idea of integrating a GPS, because GPS will give me a good idea of what my speed is, at least a good enough idea. And I would be able to use the GPS, which is a very handy thing. So maybe I'll build something custom into the front of it that'll do that. For right now, other than that, I mean, my goals are just to get it to ride ready. Tomorrow I'm going to buy some aircraft cleaner and start getting the rest of this off. I mean, you can see where the aluminum is showing through, but the rest of the frame is painted black. It's just horrible. Looks like crap. So I'm hopefully going to get everything completely cleared off of that. I also think that I might be able to patch that hole up in the crankcase with either some JB weld, or maybe even pull the whole motor out and have somebody weld it, because it looks like a crankcase is going to be a few $100. Not something I really want to get into, nor do I want to get into a rebuild of the engine. This is already more work than I know what to do with. I want to be able to ride this thing yet this summer. And since it's almost June, if I go buku crazy and trying to get this thing all set up, I'm never going to get anywhere with it. So, part 3, like I said, I got the rear tire off. I need to figure out how to get the suspension where it needs to be. Right now it's sitting really, really low. And then I did notice that in the suspension, I've got, let me get better light. I've got this sprocket down here. I think that is one of the ways I can adjust it, but I don't know, do I need a special tool for that? How do I adjust this thing? And the other thing of concern is one of the spots here where the frame meets up with the bike. There's like this clamp, or like not a clamp, but there's a spot here where it looks like for sure the bike used to be tied to it. So there was some bolts or something, and now they're not there. So if anybody knows what that is or what to do with that, I greatly appreciate any advice on that too. Here, another thing on the case. That's broken. That whole chain sprocket cover is in real rough shape. It was all missing. What was missing was all broken up pretty bad. So I'm going to have to get that cover replaced too. The filters are dirty, ugly, dented. Going to need to replace those too. Other than that, you know, she's coming along. Alright, thanks for joining me. Thanks for the advice.